Archetypes, legends, and symbols, folklore, and our myths. Have you ever come across a phenomenon as stubborn as all of this? These patterns we see repeated again and again most every age, seem to know their own stories, have their own lives unfold upon the page. Is it the man that makes his story, or does the story create the man? The creatures of myth and legend, now this question they'd understand. It is rarely felt in the moment, but looking back generally plain to see, how the tides of mood and circumstance seem to snatch conscious mind from me, and see that I play a part in something I'm sure I'm never fully aware, but ensuring I be what I am meant to be in that moment in space right there. It is said that we are electric beings, and this would certainly help explain how a being can be pulled into shape by subtle needs from the etheric plane. I don't know how else to describe this, and I am attempting to be most concise, but the topic I am attempting to broach needs more answers I hope to entice. From the very same place I am doing my utmost to try and describe, from the underlying blueprint from which all matter's forms derive. I come here today for clarity on this background hum of life. Am I the shape or the shapee here? Where exactly do I stand in this life? And is it really a choice at all, or merely a perspective held by me? What does it even really mean to consider oneself free? Especially when, as it goes, and all fellow occult students can attest, that the closer you get to unraveling truths seems to target selfishness to arrest. As when one knows oneself to be a mere grain of the all, as much a part of everything as Jesus, Peter, or Paul, and truly groks the phenomenon that one only keeps what one gives away, then does triviality leave you and all interactions become divine play. With heightened reception to the other, we see a thing now most profound, the ability that one now has to truly form the perfect sound, and say just what was needed, be it sweet, sharp, or cruel, to spur the other into their next phase, a kind of chemical, verbal duel. When one does allow this, the reception to infill, we allow the imprint upon us, visions in the mind to spill. A one who knows what he is can simply hold this form, and maintain the state of emptiness that allows spirit's light and sound be born. All it does seem is needed for this is genuinely meaning to do well. As intent underlies everything, it's a foundation in this realm. A truth that, like most in its caliber, is rarely received well. We don't like it when it's pointed out we are living held up in our shells. Intent is our origin point, the base math of our unflowering. Are you aiming to evolve while here, or seeking the comforts so alluring? Our inner compass of morals sets our outer trajectory. It aligns our spirit with attitudes, the heavenly angles of receptivity. Taking a step back now to bring this all into view. Take now the image of the moon and the oceans into you. Note how the planet's bulk of water is pulled and pushed around by the ever-changing shapes and angles of influence most profound. The giant stellar bodies that circle our terrestrial abode press and pull at the waters here, and we are only addressing one node. Now take into your mind the other 8 magnificent spheres. Is it so much to imagine that they too have influence here? La Luna herself can raise the seas right up over your head, in just one night's variance of her form and light being shed. As beings of mostly water, the effects here are profound. We see this clearly in hospitals and the full moon crazies that abound. So drinking in this reality, and now seriously giving some thought, what patterns and geometry of the stellar bodies could in our behaviors wrought? As we are receptive electric beings, the majority being fluids, that when we truly accept this fact, we are instantly initiated as druids. As the second that we hold the shape of humoring this truth, we are in the perfect receptive state to allow the matrix to unleash proofs. Instantly, the downloads start, inner images flare to life. Neurons breaching inner chasms, understanding obliterates strife. For in this electric universe, to hold a belief down to your toes, is to create a literal vacuum in space and begin pulling in your ecstasy or woes. Aim for truth or aim for comfort, the choice is truly yours, for everything that expresses here has a dual form to expressions of cause. We can close our eyes to the outside and build a fantasy of snug beliefs, or take a step back and use fresh eyes to drink in reality's endlessly magic reliefs. Did you know when we create an element, a new substance to this realm, it takes a while to learn its form, it takes repetition to man its helm. The youngling substance makes mistakes and will at first rewrite its forms. Just like us, its first few steps are light years from what will become its norms. The fledgling chemical begins to learn its preferred method for taking shape. It sheds what doesn't serve it and concretizes its own wake. A self is slowly forming in real time and all around, be it chemical substances or the earth soul of all who abound. As all things vie for their own shape and all emit their own unique shades of light, billions of I-ams pressing their selfness into each other throughout the night. The etheric soup of reality we electric beings are moving through is so much more profound than anything I could ever linguistically pull into view. But I just can't shake this feeling that this image needs vocalizing. The astral tension the planets provide seem to influence the nature of rising. In the uptake and forming of chemicals, in the swell and fall of seas, in the psyche and mood of the children of earth and the falling of leaves from trees. It's in the subtle bonds between things that we find reality's true power. It is never where we expect it to be, a coveted and hidden flower. Just think of the concept of nuclear power, the fission and fusion of atoms. The smallest of units and most basic of functions power whole continents of Gaia's stratum. I am always so blown away by the magic of nature's outflow. Endless riddles for me to pursue, so many facets for me to grow to know. This child and fool that I am, and gladly admit to be, looks forward to her next lessons here as they unfold in subtle synchronicities. I thank Gaia for her patterns and archetypal expressions of view. These portals she opens unto herself are friends I can call on to review. What is or is not serving, which facet of glass the light best shine through. As the base elements of all things here share characteristics all can imbue. Taking strength from nature and drinking in the potentials that abound, I seek for the highest expression of each, aiming for a base geometry that's most profound. Can you call to mind the excitement and the utter sheer delight the newborn man-made chemical feels when it finally crystallizes right? Every now and then I think I could partially share this joy and fire, when improbable synchronicities bestow revelations so big they make one perspire. I guess what I've been trying to say and chew down to the bone is we must accept both states be encountered, the inner magic and that of the unknown. As you can emit light outwards and influence realities external to you, so can external influences permeate, flavor, and alter your own mood. There is ever-present choice here, always one can be manning the helm, though I've never met a human here who could claim that in this realm. Now the next time you come across a story that has so long stood the test of time, like the Bible, Bhagavad Gita, or Talmud, books of so-called religion, I think you'll find, these tales all share a theme. Certain patterns do repeat. In fact, they all tell the very same tale of the stellar bodies and their feats. They speak of the underlying forces, electricity, and magnetism, and it's only in foolish anthropomorphizing that we end up with religious schisms. With much now to ponder and a broadened field of view, I hope what we've discussed above gives you something satisfying on which to chew.